Hello everyone, if you want to learn how to build API using Laravel and do all kinds of operations with that, then this video is for you. In this video, we will work on everything and teach you everything you need to know in order to build a API using Laravel and do all create, update, delete operation with your API. Okay, fine, that's good. So I'm not going to cover like what is API, what is the work of an API, why you should build an API. You can just simply search on Google about that and you will get tons of article on that, so that's unnecessary to cover here. So straight to our video topic, which is we are going to create API using Laravel and do all kinds of necessary, like you can say, operations with that. Okay, so I just download Laravel 11 fresh new project, and then what I'm going to do is simply cd to that project directory, that is API project. Okay, then I'm just going to open it to my code editor. So code dot should be opened to our Visual Studio Code editor. Fine. So this is a fresh brand new Laravel project which I just installed before starting this video. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect this project with a database. I just created a fresh new database called API project in my PHPMyAdmin, and I'm going to connect this database with my project. For that, I'm just going to simply open .env file and type here not SQLite, MySQL, and then uncomment all of this thing because you're going to use MySQL database connection. Then database name is API project, my username is root, and I don't have any password using into my PHPMyAdmin, so I don't need to provide here any password, and that's it. That should connect our project with the database. Fine. Next step is start jumping into Laravel API. Okay, how to build the API, right? And that's not rocket science. It's very simple to build API using Laravel project. Okay, in Laravel 8, 9, 10 you can just install Laravel application and start building API. There's no other thing you need to install. But in Laravel 11 you have to install API after install API package after installing the Laravel project. So Laravel project installation is done, database connection is done. Next I'm going to do is I'm going to install the API project. So just type php artisan install API. Okay, and this will install API in our application. Okay, just few single minute it will need, second it will need. And while it is installing, okay, it's already done actually. Do one new database migration has been published. Would you like to run all pending database migration right now? I'm not doing, I not want to run any migration right now, so that's why I'm just going to type here no. You can type here whatever you want, yes or what. Fine. So API installed successfully. Now if I go to routes folder, I will possibly get this api.php route file, and using this api.php route file I will create all the routes which I need for my API project. Okay, next what we are working with APIs. API gives us some response code. Okay, every API has a URL. You need to send request to that URL, and when you send request to that URL, that URL response, and that URL response in different kinds of status code. So first of all, I recommend you to learn about HTTP response status code, and there are going to be 5 different types of HTTP response status code. You can check out this MDN documentation or other blog you want to. Just search like HTTP response status code and you will get this 5 type of status codes they are available. One is informational response from 100 to 199, then from 200 to 299 then successful response, then 300 to 399 redirection message, then client error response 400 to 499, and server error responses from 500 to 599. So different kinds of status code provides when we request on a API route. Okay, let me show you. This is a dummy API URL. So if I copy this one and go to Postman, I recommend you to download Postman. Just simply download and create an account, then you will get this interface, and after that just only click on new blank collection whatever it is, then click on add request, and then you can just, from here you can just check any kinds of API route and see what is their response and result. Okay, so I'm going to send a request to this dummy API URL and see what is returned to us, and you can see it is giving us API ID missing and 403 forbidden. Okay, so you can see when we are requesting to any API route, it gives us two things. One is response, another is response code. You can see this is the response code 403. If it's success, we may possibly will see like 200 or 201, something like that. Okay, before you start building API, just search on Google like what is API, what is the work of API, then check out HTTP response status code, what is the work of each of these status code, when to use which one, just take them out. Okay, next is let's jump straight to our project and yeah, start building API. So our Laravel installation is done. I connected our project with the database. Next is we want to create a API, and that's very simple. It is exactly what we did without API. Same work. Let me show you. I'm going to open terminal here. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply create here a model migration and controller which is called like fruit list. Okay, and let me show you PHP artisan make model which is fruit list model, and I want a migration file with that as well. Then I'm going to also create controller for that. PHP artisan make controller fruit fruitlist fruit list controller. Okay, fine. So I created fruit list model migration and controller as same as before, like when we do work without API, now we create controller model or migration file exactly like this, right? There's nothing new. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the migration file. Okay, then this table will have few different information. One is the fruit list ID, then another is going to be string, and then fruit name. Okay, and then the next one going to be like integer quantity. Okay, simple. And by default I'm going to pass here 0. That's it. And you can also pass here unique if you want to. Okay, then I'm going to run PHP artisan migrate. You get anything new here? Nothing new, right? We just created a new table in our database using this migration, and if I go to my database right now, I will possibly see another new table called fruit list, which is right now empty. But why we created that? Because in this table we will add some data, and then using our API we will try to read those data, then we will try to edit those data, and then we will try to delete those data, and as the same way we will also try to add new data to this table. That's why we just created this table. Okay, fine. Next is very simple. I want to create here few data. Let me create few data manually here. Just only click on insert. Okay, fruit list first fruit is going to be mango, and the quantity I want here is 200. And then second fruit going to be banana or orange, and then I want here like quantity 300, and click on go, and it will create two different record in our database, right? One is mango and another is orange. Next, what I want to do is I want to create a API route to read everything in this fruit list table. So let's do it. It's very simple. I'm going to open what? I'm just going to close it. I'm going to open my api.php file, then type here route, and we need a get route here, and who is going to be like slash fruit fruit list. Okay, simple slash fruit list. And here I'm going to use a controller. Okay, and our controller name is what? Fruit list controller, then colon class, and inside of this fruit list controller there's going to be a function called view all fruits. Okay, simple. Now we just created a API route. Okay, whenever anyone hit this API route, it will call fruit list controller, and inside of this fruit list controller it will call or ask for the view all fruits name function. So we're going to create this function right now, public function fruit view all fruits. Okay, and then inside of this I'm going to just simply type like fruits. Okay, fruits. Then as before we fetch all the data from database, we use like our model fruit list, something like that, then type here all. This is nothing new, right? This is nothing new. And what's going to be happen, Git will fetch out all the data from our fruit list table and store them in the fruits name variable. And now we want to return this as response JSON. Okay, why JSON? Because API return JSON data. Okay, and inside of this we will pass few things. First one is status. Okay, status going to be true. Next one going to be message, like all the fruit list arrived, whatever you want. Then here I want to pass data. As data I want to pass the fruits. Okay, here I want to pass a response code as well, which is going to be 200. Why 200? Because it's going to successfully retrieve information. That's it. Now you get anything new here? Nothing new, right? We just write a function in our controller which is view all fruits. Then we write here a query just to query in our database and fetch out all the information from our fruit list table. Then we just return those information as JSON data, right? That's it. Now what? Now let's see either we can able to like access our fruit list from this URL. Let's see. So very fast, let's run our project. PHP artisan serve. We need to make sure that server is running, otherwise API route will not be accessible. So if I type here our website URL, then /API, then /fruit list. Okay, // here /fruit list. Okay, you can see we getting the response. We can access get API route something like this way, because it's get API route. We can see the message in browser as well, and you can see whenever we accessing the routes, we are getting a response in JSON format, which is status true, message all fruit list arrived, and data. We can see there's two data in our database in fruit list. One is ID 1, fruit name mango, quantity 200, and then ID 2, fruit name orange, quantity 300, right? Now this is how you can check any get API route, and if you get the similar result, then you are welcome, you already created the API and get the response. But if you want to check it in proper way as well, then just to open the Postman, you give here the get request method, and yeah, then paste your route here, click on send, and it will also show you the same thing, status true, message is all fruit list arrived. Then data, you can see the data, and also you can see the response is 200. Okay, that means we successfully retrieve all the information from our database using our API route. So this is the very first thing we did in API. We created the API and we access the information from our database using the API route. Congratulations, you created the API for the very first time. And next one is, we already read the information from database using our API route. Next one going to be, we want to update information from using our API route from our database, right? So we just want to update any information from our database using the API route. So let's do it. For that, I'm going to create another route, and this route going to be route post, not post route, put route, right? So this is going to be put route. Okay, before showing you how to update any information in our database using the API route, let me show you how to add an information in our database using API route. Okay, so it's going to be route post, and URL going to be add fruit. Okay, add fruit, simple. Then similarly, I want to use here our fruit list controller class. Okay, then I want to create a new function in my fruit list controller, which is going to be add fruit on list. Okay, that's simple. Now, okay, this is the region of error, fine. Now what I need to do is simply go to fruit list controller and simply create this add fruit on list name function. Okay, just go to fruit list controller and type here public function add fruit on list. Okay, fine. This is going to be exactly same as we did in normal add functionality function. Okay, simple. We're just going to type here request $request. Okay, then what I want here, I want to validate the data first. Okay, so yeah, validated data, and inside I want to use validator. Let me show you validator. Okay, manually creating validators. You can simply validate your data like this, validator, then make request all. This will validate all your requested data first, and then you can type your manual validation rules, like for which you want to check what. Okay, I'm just going to simply do the same thing in our application. Okay, just go inside of this. I'm going to type here validator, not this one, not .nb1. It's going to be eliminate support facet auth, not auth, eliminate support facet validator. So when you using validator, make sure you using eliminate support facet validators. Okay, then what you need to do, you need to do the same thing they did here exactly. Okay, just copy it, come back here and type validator, then make requested all data will go through the rules. Okay, something like that. Okay, why it giving me error? Let me type manually so it will not give me error. Validator make. Okay, and then inside of this I need to type what? I need to type here request, then all the requested data I want to validate. Then let's pass here our manual validation rules. Okay, so very fast I want to validate what? I want to validate the fruit name. It need to be unique unique in our database name is what? Let me check API project. Not API. In our database, there's a table called fruit list. Okay, right? So fruit name need to be unique at fruit list. Okay, unique at fruit list. Then it also need to be required. Cannot like simply post an empty request to a database, and need to be unique. Then maximum value I want is 200 is pretty much 100. Okay, then main value going to be 3. That's all. Okay, so that's the only one I want to validate. Like for quantity, that's okay. I don't need to validate that. Fine. Or you can just type here like required. Let me check. Next one is quantity. Okay, let me type here quantity is just required. Fine, that's all I need. So my validation is done. Next I'm going to type here if validated data fails. If validated data fails, then I want to return a response. Status is false. Status is going to be false, and error. And what is the error? I want to pass all the error here, not data, error. I want to pass here all the error. And how I get the error? Just type here validated data, then error. Okay, so that means I am passing here all the error it passed. Okay, simple. And status code going to be here 422. Let me show you what is the 422 status code means. So if I go to the documentation again and I show you 422 unprocessable content, the request was well from but was unable to be followed due to semantic error. Okay, you can see. So this is the error code I'm going to use here. Fine, awesome. Otherwise I want to simply add fruit to the list. Whatever you want to give the validation variable name you can give. Then I'm just going to use my fruit list model create. Okay, then I'm going to pass here all the requested data. Okay, simple. So yeah, first I validate the data. If the validation fails, I'm simply passing here a error status, okay, or response. Then if nothing error happen, then I'm just simply creating a new fruit on the list using the fruit list model create. Then I'm just passing here all the requested data. Same. Okay, next, if it successfully submitted, then I want to return something else. I want to return response status is true, then message is fruit added to the list, and this time this is going to be data, and here I'm just going to pass the validate data. Okay, validate data, and this time status code is going to be 201. And what is the meaning of 201 status code? Let me show you as well. 201 status code main is created, so the request succeed and a new resource was created as a result. This is typically the response sent after post request or some put request. So you get it this right. So as we are creating successfully a record in our database using API request, that's why on success I am passing here status code 201. So yeah, that's all. Let's try to achieve this and let's check either we able to add data using our API route, and our API route is right now add fruit. So if I go to my postman again, type here post, method is post, okay, method is post, then API route going to be our URL slash API slash add fruit, okay, add fruit, and this time in the body, in that from data, I want to pass some data. First one going to be fruit, fruit, fruit name, and as a fruit name I want to pass here banana, and then I want to pass here another thing is quantity, and quantity going to be like 1000. Let's see whether it added successfully in our database or not, or give us error. Let's see, send the request, and let's see what happened. Okay, 500 internal server error. Okay, internal server error 500. Let's go to our model, and yeah, let's fix something here. Let's type protected field label there, protected field label. First value I want to be there, field label is fruit name, next one is quantity. There's no error in my code, then why it not working? Maybe because I did not added this field label in my model. Okay, let's try again, and now you can see fruit added to the list. The reason behind why it did not add the data in our database, because I did not add it I did not add it protected field label in my model. Okay, that's why. So make sure you did that, otherwise the API requested data will not be added. Okay, now if I go back to my database and show you, there's a new record. Okay, and now let me try with this banana again, and as I did some validation here, let me show you that it need to be unique at fruit list. That means if I submit banana once and try again, it should give me error. Let me see whether it give me error or not. So yeah, I type here again banana, you can see status false, and then message error fruit name, the fruit name has already been taken. Then if I type here and anything else like nuts, and yeah, try again, now it's added, nuts is added, you can see. So yeah, that's how you can add data in your database using the post request of your API. Next one is I need to do something to update any data from our database using API route. So for that one, I will create another route. This is going to be put requested route. So we use put in route method when we want to update any information in our database using API routes. Okay, so you are going to be update fruit info slash, here I want to pass the ID of the fruit which I want to update, and then in fruit list controller I want to create a new function called update fruit. Okay, now I go back to my fruit list controller again, type public function update fruit, and here request $request, and then here what I want to do is I also want to pass here ID, which ID I'm receiving, right? Simple. Next, same thing I'm going to do what I did in add fruit. First one I want to validate the data, then I want to do anything else. So I just copy them from here, paste them here, validate data, validate, make validate fruit name, okay, quantity require, fruit name require. If validate fail, then add fruit to the list, or update fruit list. I'm going to type here update fruit list, update fruit list, Then I'm going to type here find or fail. Find or fail, which one? Find or fail the ID, then update. Okay, simple. Requested all. Now, and message is going to be fruit information info updated successfully. See, the functionality here is same. In add and update, everything is same. First of all, in add we validate the data before adding that information in database, and in update we also validate the data before updating that information in our database. Okay, then if validation passed in add, we create a new field or new record in our database, and if validation passed for update, we just find out the ID which one we want to update, then update that information in our database and return the response. Okay, status you can pass here 200 if you want to, whatever it is. All right, now it's time to check our update fruit API route. So our route is /update fruit info /id. So I'm opening the Postman again and typing here put. Okay, URL going to be https / our website URL, then /API, then /update fruit info. Then I want to update the fruit whose ID is 4. Okay, then in body I want to pass, in row I want to pass some JSON data. Okay, I want to update the fruit name. Okay, if I go to my database and show you the fruit name is nuts, I want to change it to nuts, from nuts to apple. Okay, let's type here apple, APPLE. Next I want to also change it quantity. Okay, let's type here like 3000, and yeah, let's send this time our put request to our API route. Let's see what error. Okay, fine, we are getting 500 error, so there should be something missing in our code. So if I go to our code again, fruit list : find or fail ID, then here we should type something like this, not : and this should be arrow update. Okay, fine. Now again let's try it. We can see status true, fruit info updated successfully. Now again if I try to add apple at 4, it should give me error, fruit name is already taken. So this is how simple it is. Okay, very simple. So you get the idea, right? So next one going to be how to delete any information from database. For this one I'm just going to copy this route, and it's going to be delete method, and the route going to be /remove fruit, and then the ID, and then we need to create the function remove fruit. Okay, then I'm just going to create this function in my fruit controller, public function fruit controller. Okay, remove fruit, and it will receive a ID. This time we're just going to type like deleted or removed data. Okay, then fruit list, not fruit list controller, again type fruit list model : find or fail. Okay, the ID, then I want to simply delete it. Okay, nice. Then I want to simply return a response like fruit removed successfully. Okay, we don't need to send any data here. Now it's time to check either our API route for deleting data from our database using API route can work or not. So our route going to be slash remove fruit slash the ID of the you can say like ID of the fruit. So it's going to be slash API slash remove fruit. I want to remove the 4 number fruit and send the request. Okay, not put, it should be delete request, right? Delete request, fine. You can see fruit removed successfully. If I try to remove again the number 4 fruit, it should give me error. Okay, because there's nothing available in number 4. But if I try to remove number 3 again, then it time it saying fruit removed successfully. So this is the all single operation you can do with your API. This is how you can. Alright my friends, so that's all about how you can create an API, how you can test an API, how you can add any record in your database using API route, update them, edit them, delete them, whatever you want to, read them, right? So yeah, that's all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye bye.